Hi, Ken 1171 Designs here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to scatter multiple objects over a morphed surface, which is different from last time where I was doing this over a plane. So these are the three objects are going to be scattering: a rock, a patch of grass, and a flower. So below here we have the default poser ground, which is set to 400% its original size. By default, I'm going to reduce it to about 100. And with this, let's start changing its shape using the built-in morphing tool. So we have an option here to create a new morph. Let's do that. I'm going to keep the default name, and we're going to use the pull brush with relative to surface. So I'm going to pulling vertices off the surface. All I want to do here is create some terrain so that it doesn't look all flat and boring. Something like this, just to make it more interesting. Alright, now that we have a morph plane, let's start the scattering. So let's launch the scatter tool. And off the bat, the ground is already selected as my scatter plane. I'm going to be scattering props, not figures, so it's in the right mode. And objects I'm going to scatter are right here. Let's start with the grass patch. And let's put like 100 of those. Yeah, let's go crazy with this. Scaling is okay. Rotation, okay. Align to surface, yes. This time we need align to surface because we have a morph here, so this plane is not flat anymore. We need to align to surface. And let's get started. So it takes a little while to start populating the ground. And it's done. And now, maybe you can cover a little more, like let's say 30 more. So we get more coverage. You will notice here it never places an object on top of another. It always keeps changing places. So if I click it again, it's gonna scatter now at a different place, always doing more coverage. Okay, now let's pick the flower and scatter it too. Scaling, rotations, align to surface. Yeah, I'm not gonna align to surface because flowers usually grow straight off the ground. They don't tilt with the terrain. So let's put like 40 of those. There he goes. And next, the rock. Let's put a little less, maybe 30. Rotation, okay. Scaling, okay. Scaling, I'm gonna allow it to make it bigger too. And align to surface, yes, rocks need to be aligned. So scattering, yeah, that's a little too much. That's a little too much. Let's reduce the amount and reduce the size too. Let's put like 15 and try again. Yeah, still a little too much. As you can see, remove only removes the currently selected scattering object, not everything, so you have some level of control. Okay, let's put like 10. Let's make it a little smaller and try again. Yeah, that's more like it. Maybe a little more. As you can see, you can do several sessions. You can keep scattering things in any order. For example, I'm gonna put more grass to get more coverage. And let's put like 30 more. One thing you're gonna notice is that if I click on the remove selected with grass patch now, it's not gonna remove just the last ones it added, it's gonna remove everything that has this name in the scene. So let's keep adding a little more. Let's allow it to make it bigger patches, so it has more coverage. Okay, I'm done with the scattering now. I'm going to put some material on the plane. And with this, let's get rid of this default texture. I'm going to just do something basic like a dark green color and something to give it more variety like 3D texture turbulence. 4 might be good enough. I don't know. Let's see. Let's use that for texture and for bump. I'm gonna leave it at max value. And look, now we don't see much of the ground plane because it's merging better. Let's do a test render to see what we get. And here you go. We have like a little grove. The scattered objects are all following the terrain with align to surface. Otherwise, you would have like patches of grass that go over a cliff. They would be like sticking out of it, and instead of following the surface. And now let's take a look what happens if I want to change one of these things. Like for example, oh, I changed my mind. I want to change the way that the rocks are scattered. First of all, let's bring back the scatter tool and select the object I want to change. Now, one thing you need to know is that once I close the tool and open it again, it's no longer tracking if objects are going to be placed in the same place twice. So if I wanted to place objects that are on top of the grass, and that's what I wanted actually, you can do that by closing the tool and opening it again. Now, next thing you're going to scatter is not going to track anymore if it goes on top of other things. So, okay, let's select the rock. And once I click remove selected, it's going to remove everything that has this name, but notice it's not going to delete the original rock, the one you placed yourself, because we have this default item name, which is like a prefix the tool puts on everything it creates, so that it knows what to delete, so to avoid deleting objects that it didn't create. Okay, now align to surface again, rotations, okay. Size, I want to make it a little smaller. And let's put like 20 rocks and scatter. You will notice now that it's going to place the rocks even if over grass it has placed before. So if you want to keep placing more independently of what was previously there, this is how you do it. And that covers scattering multiple objects over morphed objects. That's what I wanted to show you. Thank you.